Hi, this is former Congressman Patrick Kennedy, author of the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act when I was in Congress. This law fights to make sure that therapy for mental health and addiction is no longer separate and unequal, no longer is marginalized from the rest of health care, and which begins to see that the only way we're going to treat people's health is to recognize them as human beings in their fullest dimensions. And that's where Healing Reins comes in. Very rarely do we touch people's soul, touch people's spirit in a way that Healing Reins does on a daily basis. It is through connection that can be brought through the relationship with the horse that can take people out of themselves and their marginalized status in society, whether they be veterans who feel alienated from the community they once knew but can no longer recognize, or whether it's special needs people and children who need to be bonded, and after bonding with a horse can then learn to bond to the rest of their community. My Aunt Eunice Shriver started Special Olympics now in 190 countries around the world because it was her experience with my Aunt Rosemary that she was marginalized and shamed and set apart. She realized that it not only applied to my Aunt Rosemary, it applied to the whole family who felt that sense of disconnect. What Healing Reins does is it allows people to bring in, through relationship with the horse, that reconnection to community. Thank you so much for what you do. Everyone at Healing Reins does, and especially all the contributors at this event. I want to implore you all to continue to support Healing Reins. If you haven't given, to be generous. People need to have that outreach, especially in times like this where people are so isolated. We all have that experience today, but for too many veterans and people with special needs, they live with that social isolation far too often, even before COVID. So we need to be especially mindful, knowing what we know today about social isolation and all that it brings in terms of added stress and a feeling of disconnectedness. Appreciate that Healing Reins helps connect people that feel like that on an ongoing basis. But a horse is the way that they begin to come out and begin to build self-confidence and begin to be part of a community. This is so much more than being with the horse. It's about being with your community, and I appreciate what Healing Reins does, and I thank you all for continuing to do this good work, and look forward to being able to visit someday when COVID is behind us. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.